Good evening, ghouls and ghoulettes, and welcome back to another episode of Spooky Tales. I'm your host, Reese Bowling, and today we will be talking about one of my favorite horror book series, Goosebumps. Before we dive into today's episode, let's hear a word from our sponsors.
Today's episode is brought to you by We Handle Candles and Spooky Films. We Handle Candles offers a variety of holiday and decorative candles and wax melts. You can find them on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Just search We Handle Candles. We handle candles, so you don't have to.
So first we're going to talk about the books. So the very first Goosebumps book was published by R.L. Stine in July 1992, titled Welcome to Dead House. So this is the book right here. The original book series has many fan favorites, such as Night of the Living Dummy, featuring fan favorites Slappy the Dummy, The Haunted Mask, Attack of the Long Gnomes, Welcome to Horrorland, and Monster Blood. There are a total of 242 Goosebumps books released since 1992. R.L. Stine released a total of 62 books in the original series, and he began to write other installments in the Goosebumps universe, such as Tales to Give You Goosebumps. It's a series of 6 books over the course of 3 years from 1994 to 1997, with more and more tales to give you goosebumps as the final one. Each book has 10 short stories, which is a total of 60 short stories throughout the series. Give yourself goosebumps. This is personally one of my favorite in the Goosebumps universe. They have branching plots. The books are written in second person, and the reader is given choices or puzzles. The reader's choices lead them to certain pages in the book. All the choices gives the reader a different ending. There are 50 total books in the series, and all the books except for fan favorite, Please Don't Feed the Vampire, are still in print. So this is the only Goosebumps book of Give Yourself Goosebumps book that is still in print. Please Don't Feed the Vampire. Goosebumps Series 2000. It's a few of the books in the series were sequels to the original books from the series, such as Bride of the Living Dummy following Night of the Living Dummy 1, 2, and 3. Slappy's Nightmare following Bride of the Living Dummy, and Return to Horrorland following One Day at Horrorland. More fan favorites came out of the series, such as the Body Squeezers, characters from Invasion of the Body Squeezers Part 1 and 2, and Creature Teacher from the book Creature Teacher, and then the Goosebumps Most Wanted book, which came later on, Creature Teacher, The Final Exam. Goosebumps Horrorland. It is based loosely on book 16 of the original series, One Day at Horrorland, and the first Goosebumps series where each book is part of the same plot, and the first to also feature fictional crossovers, such as locations, characters, and villains. It features Slappy the Dummy and Revenge of the Living Dummy. I believe I have the book here. Yes, this is from the first Goosebumps Horrorland book, not Revenge of the Living Dummy. It also features, he was also in Slappy New Year, so that was later on in the series. It features The Haunted Mask and Scream of the Haunted Mask, and Monster Blood and Monster Blood for Breakfast, and then Dr. Maniac and Dr. Maniac versus Robbie Schwartz. Goosebumps Horrorland ended with Book 19 on the Horror at Chiller House. It is about a Horrorland shop owner named Jonathan Chiller who told 6 customers throughout the Goosebumps Horrorland series to take a souvenir home and that they would pay him the next time they would see him. Well, now the time has come for payment, and the 6 kids must complete a scavenger hunt through all of Horrorland for 6 red chests, and each chest sends 1 child back home. Jonathan Chiller goes under the disguise of many figures in the book, such as Murder the Clown, Mondo the Magical, Madame Doom, Winner Take All, Seymour Window, and horror chef Burpee Belcher to try and make sure the horrors never end. Goosebumps Most Wanted. So R.L. Stine described the series as a brand new take on horror. The series features recurring story arcs and several infamous villains such as Slappy the Dummy and Son of Slappy, Dr. Maniac and Dr. Maniac Will See You Now, Murder the Clown, and A Nightmare on Clown Street, which I have right here. And if you went to Spooky's Funhouse, I based a lot of inspiration off of Murder the Clown and A Nightmare on Clown Street. And Creature Teacher, as mentioned before, in the Creature Teacher Final Exam. There are a total of 10 books over the course of 4 years, from 2012 to 2016, ending with Lizard of Oz. There are also 4 special editions of Goosebumps Most Wanted, such as Zombie Halloween, The 12 Screams of Christmas, Trick or Trap, and The Haunter. Goosebumps Slappy World. This launched for the 25th anniversary of the Goosebumps franchise, and it features Slappy the Dummy as a narrator and sometimes a primary antagonist in each book. It has a total of 19 books over the course of 7 years, from 2017 to 2023, ending with Fright Night. Goosebumps House of Shivers. This is the newest series in the Goosebumps universe, and it promises new villains mixed with a scarier and funnier tone than the previous series. The first book was released in September 2023, titled Scariest Book Ever. Goosebumps House of Shivers departed from the original covers used since 2008 relaunch of the series, and it went back to its original logo with a new art style, and the series cover artist is Robert Ball. Today, also now we're going to dive into the TV series. So the first episode of Goosebumps aired on October 27th, 1995 with The Haunted Mask. The series has 4 seasons with 74 episodes over the course of 3 years, with their final episode, Deep Trouble. And each episode is an adaptation from one of R.L. Stine's Goosebumps books. On Friday, October 13th, so Friday the 13th, 2023, Disney Plus released their own version of Goosebumps. There are 10 episodes in season 1, and horror actor Justin Long, known for Jeepers Creepers, Drag Me to Hell, and Tusk, is in this series, and they just renewed the series for season 2 on Disney Plus coming soon. So now we're going to do video games. So there are a couple of video games in the Goosebumps series. So the first Goosebumps game was released in 1996 for PC, titled Goosebumps Escape from Horrorland. The game acts as a sequel to the book One Day at Horrorland. The game features well-known actors such as Jeff Goldblum, Isabella Rossellini, Eric Lloyd, and Adam Wiley. Goosebumps, just that for the title, released another game for the following year for PC for children produced by DreamWorks Interactive, titled Goosebumps Attack of the Mutant, which is based off of the book Attack of the Mutant. The good player accidentally gets off at the wrong bus stop and finds himself at the Masked Mutant headquarters. He must work with comic book heroes called the League of Good Guys to prevent the Masked Mutant from transforming the world into a giant comic book. It was one of the first games to use cel-shaded animation. Goosebumps Horrorland. Now this game I grew up on. Released in 2008 for Wii, Nintendo DS, and PlayStation 2, it is a direct tie-in to the Goosebumps Horrorland series. The player receives a ticket to Horrorland from a stranger. After tearing the ticket up, the ticket magically repairs itself in front of the player. The player's friend Nate appears and states he also got a ticket. Both characters become excited and decide to go to Horrorland. Once arriving, you play games and achieve a number of frights in the Carnival of Screams. Once you get enough frights, you're allowed to entrance to another part of the park called Vampire Village. Once you enter Vampire Village, the player's friend Nate jumps into a coffin and pretends to be a vampire. After a few moments, the lid slams shut and the coffin starts shaking. The player tries to open the coffin, and when he finally does, Nate is nowhere to be found. The layout of the game is to earn as many frights as you can to help save your friend and to get to other parts of Horrorland while revealing secrets along the way. Goosebumps the game. So this is a point-and-click adventure game from 2015. The player can control either a boy or a girl, which you can name. They go on a spooky adventure and battle the Goosebumps monsters that escape from their books. So it is also a prequel to the 2015 Goosebumps film. Goosebumps Night of Scares. So this was a mobile game released also in 2015, where players must control a boy named Twist, who moved into a house that was haunted by the characters from the Goosebumps series. Taking place after the film, R.L. Stine is trapped inside a typewriter by Slappy. The player must find the pages from Night of the Living Dummy to free R.L. Stine. Goosebumps Horror Town is another mobile game that was released 3 years later in 2018. The game follows Slappy and fellow monsters as they build a Goosebumps-inspired town using locations from the Goosebumps books. Goosebumps Dead of Night was released in the summer of 2020 for PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and PC. The game is a port of Night of Scares and includes additional content not seen in the 2015 game. So now we're going to move on to the movies. Goosebumps finally hit the big screen on October 16, 2015. The film stars Jack Black as R.L. Stine, and he also provided the voice acting for Slappy the Dummy. The legendary Danny Elfman composed the music for this film. So here's the plot for that 2015 film. Upset about leaving New York and moving to Madison, Delaware, Zach Cooper, played by Dylan Minnette, lives with his mother, Gail, played by Amy Ryan, who has accepted a vice principal job at a local high school. Zach meets his neighbor, Hannah, played by Odeya Rush, and he makes a new friend named Champ, played by Ryan Lee. On his first day at the new high school, Zach quickly learns about Hannah's mysterious father, R.L. Stine. One day, when Zach opens one of Stine's books on accident, Goosebumps monsters are released from the pages and begin to wreak havoc. 3 years later, Goosebumps found its way back to theaters in October 2018 with Goosebumps 2 Haunted Halloween. Jack Black reprises his role as R.L. Stine in the voice acting role as Slappy the Dummy. And the plot for that one. 3 years after the previous movie's events, Sarah Quinn lives with her brother Sonny and their mother Kathy in Wardenclyffe, New York. When Sonny and his friend Sam go into an abandoned house and find a locked book, they open it and Slappy appears out of nowhere. Slappy soon reveals to the boys that he is alive and has magic. When several accidents occur throughout the film, the kids try to get rid of the sinister dummy, but to no avail. Slappy instead uses his magic to bring Goosebumps costumes and Halloween decorations to life. Now here are some fun facts to end the show. The scariest Goosebumps book ranked is The Haunter from Goosebumps Most Wanted. So the story revolves around a boy named Sammy and his friends going into the haunted Barlow house on Halloween, and they have a frightening experience. What Sammy doesn't know is that he is now possessed by a ghost that wants to turn him into one as well. R.L. Stine writes the book titles first before developing a plot, and stating it takes about 3.5 weeks to write a new book. In the TV episodes Night of the Living Dummy and Bride of the Living Dummy, Slappy is shown in both human size and baby size. So in Bride of the Living Dummy and Night of the Living Dummy 3, he is shown as both human and baby size as well. Since R.L. Stine's first Goosebumps book, Welcome to Dead House, the series has sold over 350 million copies worldwide in 32 different languages, making it the second best-selling children's books next to Harry Potter. And the final fact, R.L. Stine was originally contracted for only 4 books. They weren't a huge success when they first came out, but with a new book releasing every 2 months. But Stine told the Boston Globe in 2015 that it was kids discovering the book and kids telling kids. It was entirely the Secret Kids Network. That was my take on Goosebumps. Please join us next week as we take a deeper dive into the movies and the show. Thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a spectacular night.